Hi everyone, and welcome back. My name is Joe Finisher, and welcome back to my channel for another chat. I really appreciate you all coming back to the channel. It means the world that I actually have people watching the videos. Um, I hope you guys liked the last Let's Play I put up with Hag, um, and there's going to be some more Let's Plays that'll be coming later on. I've already recorded them. I just need to edit them. And by the way, everybody, the person you heard at the beginning of the Let's Play with Hag and I was a guy that we play with named Gregor, and I believe he should be coming, some more of him will be coming on the channel. Um, also, I have a new mic, and I fixed the quiet voice issue when I was recording with other people, so that should resolve that issue altogether. Also, I'm going to be doing these chats as a more structured and more thought out conversation instead of just stumbling through them like I did when I was talking about friends last time. So that'll be better. So the topic that I have today is a topic that is still kind of evolving for me, and I still don't really have a fully formed opinion on it. As I said, I'm a pretty young guy, and I think it's pretty normal to at least not to really know what this word means, and the word is success. And I guess I'm gonna kind of talk about what success meant to me at different stages in my life. What success means to me now, and how to be successful no matter what you're trying to do. So, success hasn't always meant the same thing. When I was really small, I didn't really have a great deal. I didn't really have a good opinion on what success meant to me. I had some kind of crazy ideas as a child, and they mostly kind of revolved around the idea that success was like using the very least amount of resources and doing the absolute most a person could with practically nothing. And it just didn't make sense. Um, as when I was a kid, I had relatively good grades without really trying, and I didn't really have to try to do anything. Like, I was just naturally good at a lot of things. So I didn't really try to do anything. Success was kind of like this thing that just came to me. And yeah, I guess that's just what it was. Like, success just came to people who just did things. And I guess that's still kind of true today. It is true that, starting to do something is half the battle, but it wasn't the same as like it was then. Like, I was naturally good at soccer, and I was just naturally good at getting good grades. Doing well in school. For some reason, I don't know. Could just be genetics. I was just inclined to be that way. Could be parenting. I don't know. So the story kind of picks up here after I graduate high school, and I guess once you're an adult, you kind of begin to form opinions on things within the world, and it's kind of when you're perceived as an adult, and I suppose really allowed to have these opinions. And it is a time that like things start to get more real than they were when you were in high school. Like, you literally are an adult, and you have consequences now, and your actions affect others, and you have to do all this crazy stuff. So upon graduating high school, success to me was like just graduating college and finding a job. And really, success to me was getting a piece of paper at the end of college, and I thought that that's what college was about. And I knew that a lot of people really went to go and find friends and to go out and party and do all this other stuff, but it just wasn't like that. I suppose that wasn't really the goal of mine. I wasn't really an outgoing person, as you guys know, in college or in high school. I didn't really have a great deal of friends, so I don't know. The social interactions in college, I wasn't looking forward to them. I just didn't really care to be at college really anyway, because I was like, well, I'm going to get here and it's going to be the same as high school, and I'm just going to get a paper at the end, and I won't really have to try that hard, and that's how it's going to work. But unfortunately, that's not really how college works. It's probably the first time that somebody tells you that, like, when you're in middle school, they're like, oh, high school is going to be harder, and when you're in elementary school, they're like, oh, middle school is going to be harder. But it really wasn't. It really wasn't true. But college is a lot harder, and at least the college I went to. I know there's some colleges that are, there's no change from high school, but the college I went to, there was a huge change. Um, so, yeah, it ended up not being the case that it was just going to be easy and success was going to come to me. And being that I went in and was motivated just by graduating and finding a job, it's not really a good way to motivate yourself, because it was a very selfish reason to try and, I suppose, to achieve this success was just, centered around me. And usually, selfish things like that don't really, you know, they don't really pan out. You know, selfish reasons aren't gonna, you're not gonna achieve success for a selfish reason. Usually, I mean, you can. Sometimes this is just me. This is me talking from my experience. Sure, I'm sure some people have achieved success through selfish means, but for me, it's just never been a great motivator. Like, it just hasn't. So, my first 2 semesters of college, I almost flunked out. And yeah, I mean, there's no other way around it. Success just didn't come. Um, Second semester, it looked like I was going to fail at college. I went back to set my second year, and I was on academic probation. But second semester was actually where things started to kind of turn around. And the reason is I was approached by a professor who at the time, he kind of planted the seeds of success. But at the time, he took notice that I was a poor writer and a terrible test taker. And so he invited me to his office hours, and he started talking to me about, why I wasn't doing well in his class and why I wasn't doing well in other classes as well. And he asked me to, come in on his own time, which was, he didn't have to do this, but I'm grateful that he did. He invited me in on his own time, and he said, we're going to teach you how to be a writer, or how to write better, and we're going to teach you how to take a test. So I go to this guy's office hours, and we go through this whole process, of him teaching me how to write, him teaching me how to take tests. But I guess that was just kind of a guise, because I don't think that's actually what his goals were. I think that's what he kind of guised them as, and was like, hey, this is going to help you in college, and this is going to help you achieve that goal, that paper at the end. But really what he was doing was he was actually showing me how to set a goal and how to achieve a goal. And I guess this was my first exposure to it, and it was a very limited exposure. I didn't truly understand what was going on. I didn't really understand what we were going through the motions of doing. And I truly don't understand this concept of setting goals and achieving goals and going through the process of how to achieve goals until much later. So by my third semester, I'd worked with this guy. Second semester, I still didn't do really well because, coming from a place where I had no study habits because I just never had to study before. Third semester, I actually started to turn things around. And that was a semester that I actually met Hag. And Hag was in a similar situation to me. And so I had gone through this process of starting to learn how to set goals and then achieve them. And so I had these goals where I was just like, okay, I'm going to study for this. This is when I'm going to study for it. And this is how I'm going to study for it based off of some of the things that the professor from the second semester taught me. And I sort of introduced these ideas to Hag that semester. And we began to kind of, because we had a lot of the same courses, we began to kind of support each other through the courses we had together. And we were working kind of based off of each other, kind of slingshotting ideas out there and kind of building each other up to kind of succeed. I would write a study guide for one course, prepare it up, and then, I would have Hag explain some computer science concept that I didn't really understand. And we would kind of build off of each other in that way, and that's kind of how we started to turn things around. So it kind of changed from a very selfish motivation to like a team motivation at that point, because it was like, okay, so this other person's depending on me as well. He's going to hold up his end of the bargain, so I need to help bring this kind of team duo thing up. So it was a much more selfless motivation. Success by the end of college, you know, kind of was different. I still wanted a piece of paper at the end, but I just wanted, I guess I was, it changed to just be succeeding in all types of different situations. Not just getting that piece of paper, like just achieving in general. Success was, adaptability to me. At the point of graduating college, immediately after college, kind of warped into a selfish thing again, where I wanted to have like this high-paying job and really great job security, and I somewhat achieved this goal. I didn't have like a super high-paying job, and I had a job that was really, 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 really secure. Like you could probably not do anything to get fired from, and you would be thinking to yourself like, oh man, you had it made. But I kind of I didn't really burn a bridge, because I ended up going back to that bridge, and thankfully those people didn't really see me as like burning a bridge. They saw me as like doing what was best for me at the time. But I kind of burnt a bridge. I say I burnt a bridge, but they don't see it that way. From another group where I was actually happier working on something. And so once again, I'm falling prey to this selfish motivation of just trying to get more money and then having job security. But like, I was miserable. I didn't want to go to work every day. I went into work. It was really slow. The day drug on. Like 8 hours felt like 24 hours of just sitting there. And I kind of had a life-altering event that like happened, and I kind of reflected at that moment, and I said, why would I do something in my life that makes me miserable every single day? And even though I achieved this high-paying job and having high job security, like it didn't mean anything to me. Like, I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't really believe in what I was doing, and it was a really cool and interesting project, but I just I couldn't get into it. And I don't want to take anything away from those guys that were working there, because they did a great job and they were really into their work, but it wasn't for me. So I went back to that burnt bridge, and luckily they took me right back in. And it's not as secure, and it's pretty comparable in the pay side, but I couldn't be happier. I mean, I really love it. And so that kind of eventually, like a year later, so success meant the security and high-paying job, but then like that was kind of shattered, and I didn't really have a true definition of success at this point until kind of today. And by today, I suppose I mean I guess beginning of 2014. Like I had kind of this revelation that like, okay, so success doesn't really mean money to me anymore, and success doesn't really mean security to me anymore. So what does it mean now? And I suppose success at that point meant to me like improving yourself in every single way, being the best that you could be in every single way. What is described, there's a guy that I listen to, his name's Elliot Hulse, and he describes it as being the strongest version of yourself. And I really like that description. And there's another quote that I heard from some movie trailer, and it goes, this was kind of like one of the things that helped spark it off. Like, oh, this is actually the ideology of what I think success is. It says, the quote is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Modesty is for cowards. And I don't know, I just think that's a really powerful statement. If you're gonna do it the right way. Do it better than anybody else does it. Be the best at it. Strive to be better at it every single day. Every single time you do it better than you did it last time. Success has kind of evolved into this, like, it's not a goal for me anymore. I mean, I set milestones. I can set milestones and get places in them, but those milestones just lead to more milestones. I never finish this goal of success. I can always be better. So now you kind of have to like look at that and say, well, you're never going to be successful, and you're right. I won't ever be successful. Or as I'm, you know, some people might see me as successful, but I'll never be as successful as I want to be. So, you know, and the tools that I suppose I really use to do that is kind of the tools that that professor taught me back in college, you know, even though I didn't really know what he was trying to teach me at the time, which is the best way to be successful, you know, quote unquote successful, to kind of move towards this goal of success is to, you know, set goals and then achieve them. And, you know, a lot of people don't really know how to do that. And I feel bad for them because they want to do these things and they have these grand ideas and they're never achieved. And that sucks. But, you know, the best way to set goals and achieve them is to, you know, actually start doing something. This, you know, my channel here, you know, a couple of weeks ago I started it, and step one was really nerve-wracking because I've never done this before. I've never been this open with people. I mean, that, and it's you know, for me, like, step one was doing something. That was, you know, putting my first video out there, my introduction video. Step two now is just once you do something, evaluate it. And like with my YouTube channel, I'm constantly evaluating my videos. That's why I kind of changed the structure of them. They're more structured now. Kind of because they have to be. Because before they didn't really make sense. And I want to make it better. And I'm going to continue to move in a direction where I make it better. You know, my goal tomorrow is to be better than I was today. That's kind of what success means to me today, is improving myself in every way I possibly can. I had a lot of changes come this year. I was 260 pounds at the beginning of this year. Now it's the 4th of May. Yeah, 4th of May. And I'm 208. I'm in the best shape of my life I've ever been in. Because at the beginning of the year I set a goal that I was going to be in really good shape by the end of the year. And I'm on my way to achieve it. Well, I'm on my way to moving towards milestones. I'll never really, truly achieve that goal. I'm putting myself out there in a lot more ways than I ever would have before. I'm trying to do better at my job. You know, I work harder. Sometimes I work extra hours. I'm trying to be a better husband, which is like hugely important to me. Hugely important. I've gone through the motions of, well, I don't want to say they're motions. I've gone through the effort of like doing some research about successful relationships, and I've gone through reading some books. One of the books I read was The 5 Languages of Love. Great book. I really recommend it. It kind of teaches you like, kind of about how different people, you know, receive and interpret love. By the way, my language of love is words of affirmation, so put those down in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, and that would be appreciated. Yeah, so I guess that's sort of in the direction I'm moving in and what I believe success is. Please put in the comments, let me know what you guys think success is. Let me know what you guys think of this video and these chats that I've been doing. You know, if you want to see more Let's Plays, I love doing the Let's Plays. They're really easy to do. They're a lot of fun to do. And it's really just, you know, me playing with my friends. And I also love doing these talks too. But I want to do what you guys want me to put up at the same time. And if you want me to, you know, do a different type of talk, I'd love to hear your ideas. I'd love to put them up on this channel. Anything you guys want to do. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then, thanks for watching.